Hi guys, welcome back to Investor Prime TV. David here. If you're new, this channel is a one-stop shop for anything investment really. So investment discussions, investment stock picks, which one's rising, which one's to fall, basically when to get in the market, when to get out, how long to hold your positions for, etc. Providing advice to yourselves. I promise you, if you stick around, you're going to learn a thing or two and it will definitely help you with your trading journey. If you're new, even if you're seasoned, etc., this channel can provide a different perspective of how to look into the market. All right, so make sure you guys subscribe and of course hit that notification bell so you don't miss any further uploads like this one. All right, let's get into today's video. So today's video, I'm going to be discussing Alibaba. All right, so ticker symbol BABA, so BABA. So Alibaba, for those who don't know, is a Chinese multinational technology company which specializes in e-commerce. So basically, if you want to sell your goods online, etc., sell or buy goods online, you can do it through Alibaba. So the reason I'm going to be discussing Alibaba is that the stock price has been very interesting this year. You know, basically from April of 2020, the price has just been soaring and soaring, getting highs, making new highs, etc., getting into uncharted territory. And then most recently, you know, the price has been falling. So I'm going to discuss whether this is a good time to start selling shares if you own shares, etc., or hold on to the shares. Basically, give my take on what's going on, what I believe is going on with the stock price based on fundamental and technical analysis and news.
Yeah, so Alibaba has been making some serious moves, some really interesting moves this whole year. Basically it started rising from about March 2020, pretty much when lockdown started for a lot of people, a lot of countries, etc., which makes a lot of sense because, like shops were getting closed, etc., due to the lockdown, and people couldn't physically shop anymore. So of course they're always going to turn to like online shopping, etc. So Alibaba being one of the e-commerce businesses, that people could turn to for buying goods, so in turn the stock price has pretty much been rising, quite a fair bit actually. So it started from about 173, and rose all the way up to 316. So effectively near enough doubling his share price in the whole year. And what's also interesting as well, it's no surprise, is that they've been beating their quarterly earnings announcements. All their quarterly earnings announcements have been good. Well, first to the third quarter earnings announcements have been good. So the price has been rising because they've been beating their quarterly announcements up until this point. And the price started falling, leading up to quarter four earnings announcements. I believe a lot of investors probably believe that the earnings announcements, like quarter four earnings, Alibaba wasn't going to beat them, So they started selling off their shares, etc. Maybe they also believe that this is overextended, the stock price is overextended, i.e. it's overbought, and the correction was bound to happen. There's many instances where a correction could have seemed possible, but the bulls just had too much demand. They just kept raising the price up and up. For instance, here could have been a correction on the 9th of July, 8th or 9th of July. That could have been a correction, bring the price back down. But it only corrected to a certain value and the price kept going, So each time it was like a wave, It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, etc. But overall, the trend has been up, So it's been up pretty much around here, overall the trend, so the overall trend has been up, okay? So every time the prices come and hit this trend line, it's bounced, okay? So it just kept bouncing off this trend line and it finally broke it pretty much shortly after the earnings, or pretty much shortly after quarter four earnings, which ended up being bad. So basically that's the price leading up to this point. So what I'm going to do now, because I've got some interest in Alibaba, I want to see if Alibaba has actually ended its bullish run, and it's time for the bears to step in and keep the price falling, or if this is going to be a momentary decrease of the price leading into the end of this year, or if the bulls will pick up from next year, raising the price up and up, to new highs above 310, above 320, etc. I want to see what's going to happen in the future of this Alibaba. All right, so looking at the chart just now, all right, so what I'm going to do first of all is I can see there's pretty much a major support has been broken. Why I say major support is because it was previously a resistance. All right, and that is at this price of 265. Okay, so 265 pretty much after the last breakout of 230, 230 became a good support, and the price went up to 265 and then effectively formed the resistance, because the price came down, went back up, came down, went up and tested 265 as a resistance, and 265 showed that it held as a resistance, i.e. the price came back down. But the next time the price reached it, was shortly after Q3 earnings announcement, which ended up being good. And this caused a gap high or gap above the resistance, and this resistance effectively became a support, because the next time the price came down and reached 265, the bulls took control and kept the price rising. All right, because there was a lot of demand, at 265. All right, so now that the price has recently reached 265 following Q4 earnings announcement, the bears have actually broke that support. And what's interesting is that the bulls tried to bring the price back over 265, meaning that if they had succeeded and stayed above 265, then this would have been a false break, false breakdown in price. A breakdown in price is when the price gets to a support and then breaks the support, so it goes below the support, all right, and stays below the support. Just like the vice versa for a breakout is when the price gets to a resistance and breaks out of that resistance and keeps going up, so that's a breakout and that's a breakdown. All right, this would have been good to get in on a bullish run, because that's seen as a false breakdown. All right, but what's interesting about that is that the price actually came back down and broke the support again, proving that this is actually a good resistance, which is why I'm seeing this, and you can see this as a key resistance, in your trading strategy. All right, so seeing this, I'm not going to rush to, I don't currently own shares or options contracts on Alibaba, but seeing this, I'm not going to rush to buying shares or rush to buying put contracts. Put being, if you're bearish in the market, you believe the price is going to fall, then you would purchase put contracts, or put option contracts. So I'm not going to go ahead and start purchasing any puts or selling or shorting Alibaba just yet. All right, especially what's happened around this, what used to be a resistance then became a support, and then became a resistance momentarily, then became a support, and now is a resistance by the looks of things. All right, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is actually sustained as a resistance, okay? Or if the price is going to go back above and effectively making this a support, I want to know what the price is going to do around this point. This has been a pretty decent bearish trend, effectively a crash in the market. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use, first of all, I'm going to remove all these lines, okay? All these resistances. I'll remove this one momentarily, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up a favorite tool of mine, and that's the Fibonacci retracement tool. All right, just to have a closer look into what the price is actually doing, because I believe the more tools you use, of course, complementing your strategy, all right, the better the outcome, For instance, if you're a trend trader and then you use tools like moving averages, etc., it can either confirm your bias in the market, or it can give you a different perspective of the market, or most importantly, it can actually prevent you from getting into potentially bad trades. All right. So I advise use as many tools within reason, of course, use as many tools as you can to confirm your bias in the market, or just change your bias or change your stance in the market. All right. So for me, I've just used the resistance, key support and resistances, okay, just to see basically what side of the trend I could be on, or what side of the supply or demand I should be on, or I'm currently on. Now, what I'm going to use, as mentioned, is a Fibonacci retracement tool. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the Fib tool. So for those who are new, a Fib tool is basically percentages. All right. So whenever there's an uptrend, and let's say the price has reached new highs, the Fibonacci retracement tool can be used for correction. All right. To see where the price is going to correct to. Assuming it's an uptrend, the bear step in, you want to know where that price is likely to go. It's particularly good in choosing stop losses, etc. All right, or seeing areas where you can add to your position, or you can just leave the market altogether. So I'm using the Fibonacci retracement tool for the downtrend. All right, so the key levels, all right, for certain support and resistances are the 38, the 50, and 61%. You can use the 23%, but the 23% could be used as like a light support or light resistance, depending on which direction the trend is going. All right. And also the same for the 78%. But mainly I use 38, 50, and 61%. All right. And I would advise you do the same, and looking at it just now, I'll explain why. So looking at this downtrend, all right, the price effectively got to 252, all right, and closed at 256, and then since then the bull stepped in, all right, tried to bring the price up, but if you notice, they actually brought the price up to the 38. So let's say you saw this move on the 19th of November, i.e. the bullish close, all right, and you wanted to know, okay, well, where is this price going to correct itself to, i.e. where is it going to retrace to, all right, and you wanted to maybe position yourself for either getting in on a better price, i.e. selling on a higher price and ride the trend back down, or you've maybe got stop losses and maybe you're in profit up until this point, you're in profit, okay? So you want to say, I don't want to lose all my profit, etc., but I want to let this market breathe. I want to let it tell me what it's doing. So you would have effectively set the 38% as a resistance. If the price got above this and stayed above this, then I would have advised that you'd get out the market, But looking at it, the price retraced back to the 38, okay? And lo and behold, the 38 is actually a good resistance, or is proven to be a resistance, the 38 being 278. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. And I advise that you wait if you're looking to either short Alibaba, sell shares, or buy put contracts, etc. I would advise that you wait as well, wait to see what the price actually does. Maybe wait a couple more sessions, maybe until Monday next week. This is currently Thursday, all right? So wait till Monday next week, or even tomorrow, you never know. The price might continue falling tomorrow, and then you can see that as a good resistance because there's some clearance. Couple of scenarios is basically if the price comes up, touches this resistance, i.e. tests it, and the price comes back down, then around the bearish influence of the price falling back down, i.e. a bearish close of, let's say it could be tomorrow's session or Monday's session, I don't know. But whenever I see a bearish close, that's going to be my indication or my trigger to get in, you know, and most likely I'll get in on options contracts. You know, I'll get in on a put option contract. I'll buy a put option contract. All right. So scenario 2 is assuming the bulls kick in. All right. Get the price back above this resistance, and this becomes a support, i.e. it tests it as a support and the price rises, you know, to this 38 resistance, then what I'll do is I'll wait. If I'm going to have a bullish bias in this stock, what I'm going to be looking for is effectively the price rising above 278, all right, and staying above 278. Similar to this first scenario, the price coming back down to 278 and the bulls kicking in from 278, which will show me there's a lot of demand in the market around 278. Again, I'll purchase options contracts. This time it'll be a call option. All right. So to summarize, basically what I'm looking for now is I'm just going to wait. All right. To see what the price does between these two lines. All right. Because effectively these are two resistances.
So if you enjoyed that video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, hit that notification bell. And also, if there's any stocks that you're looking into buying, maybe, and you're not sure, etc., leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. So if the information I've provided in this video or any videos on my channel has helped you in any way, shape, or form, then you can show some support by donating to my PayPal. The information is below. But if you can't, then you can show some support by subscribing. It's much appreciated either way. And for those who have recently subscribed to my channel, a big thank you, you know, and welcome to the family. All right, thanks guys. I'll see you in the next video.